What's up, cuties? Welcome back to a brand new video. If it's the first time you're on my channel, welcome. Think about subscribing. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Pacific time. Pacific time. For the most part. I mean, sometimes, you know, it fluctuates, but I try my best. Regardless, I am happy you're here. For today's video, we are gonna break down the top 3 insecurities that most guys deal with. And you may be asking, Dominic, why are we talking about this? Well, because 99.9% of you guys are male. So I figured we may as well talk about things that we all go through at one point or another, because I feel like it normalizes it, we can open up a dialogue and discussion, and it also makes us feel a little bit less alone when we talk about things that we really struggle with. So for this video, we are gonna break down the top 3, and we're also gonna talk about ways that you can reshape your thinking when it comes to them and overcome some of these struggles. I know for myself personally, I'm just gonna keep it 100% with you guys. I have struggled with all 3 of these, so I want you to know, even if you don't identify with all of them, but maybe there's one you're struggling with, it is okay. Everybody's got insecurities. I have a ton of insecurities, and you know what? I am working on them day by day, but for this video, we're gonna break down the top 3. Let's get to it. So these top 3 insecurities are in no particular order. So out of 1,000 guys surveyed, the #1 insecurity for men, which you've probably guessed already, is sex and sexual performance. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. Okay, I just gotta stop myself because I will literally never get laid again if I sing. I have the worst voice, so I'm sorry. Sex and sexual performance is definitely something that is always on a guy's mind. I will say when I was younger, I didn't give a shit about what anybody else was doing sexually. I didn't compare myself to anybody else. It wasn't until I got older and I started meeting other guys and going on dates and seeing how other people were living their life sexually and with the media and Tumblr and all these other things that are thrown at you. You're like, whoa, there's a lot out there. I'm not really sure how I hold up compared to these people. Listen, it's a common insecurity, and we are gonna break sex down into 2 topics today. The first insecurity dealing with sex that pretty much all guys have dealt with at one point or another is their dick size. And let me just set the record straight for you guys. This is something you cannot change and you cannot control. You gotta just love your body for what it is. I don't care if you are straight, curved, thick, or thin. Your body is perfect just the way it is. And anybody else that tells you different is honestly just a dick. No pun intended. As a gay male, I have been around the block, and let me tell you, I have seen with guys, I feel like everything on both sides of the spectrum, and not once have I ever looked at a guy and been like, nah bro, not cutting it, bye. This is like such a horrible thing to do, and nobody's ever done that to me, and I don't know any friends that have ever encountered a situation like that. You're just gonna realize everybody is different, and that's totally fine. It's about the chemistry you have with somebody, and honestly, what it really comes down to for me, like what's attractive about somebody, is their confidence. In my 6 years of dating guys, being with guys, having different sexual partners, there has only been one time I've ever gotten a comment from somebody who was a total dick, and it was in Barcelona this last year. I was at a hotel, I was on an app, and I was messaging somebody, and we each sent a nude, which, by the way, if you ever send something, never, ever, this is Daddy Dom telling you, put your face in it. But he sent a photo, and I sent a photo, and this guy was just like, honestly, not human. I mean, this photo was just like, how could anybody compare? So I had sent a photo too, and he made one of the rudest comments ever to me. So I took it in, and for a minute I was really offended and almost like started to feel bad about my body. So I stopped myself and I said, what are you gonna do about this? Are you gonna sulk about this the rest of the day because somebody you don't know made a super bitchy comment who's probably just a dick? Or are you gonna take the moment to reflect, realize you love your body, nothing's wrong with you, and like you're just doing you? So what did I do? I walked out of that fucking hotel, I walked down the street to the gay nude beach, and I took off my clothes, and I was one with nature, and I embraced my body, and it was the best feeling. So moral of the story, when it comes to the insecurity of measuring up, you got what you got, be confident with it, own it, have a good personality, build chemistry with somebody, you're gonna be fine. The second insecurity when it comes to sexual performance, which a ton of guys actually struggle with, is ED. ED, for those who don't know, is erectile dysfunction, and it's actually something over 52% of men over the age of 40 will experience at some point in their life. But thankfully, this is something we can fix. The problem in the past has been that over 75% of men don't actually seek treatment or help about this because we're insecure. We don't wanna have that uncomfortable conversation with our doctor, let alone go to the pharmacy and pick up a prescription for something that we're not too confident about. But don't don't worry, if this is something that you are currently struggling with, I got you. So what do you do if you have ED? Well, you used to have to go to a doctor's office and have an uncomfortable conversation, but thanks to companies like Roman, you can now handle it from the convenience of your own home with discretion. Roman is a fantastic site helping men conquer ED. If you guys want to check out Roman, you can go to their site. You can then go and complete your online visit, and then if a doctor deems the treatment appropriate, a licensed physician will send you out your medication discreetly, and they'll also give you free 2-day shipping. Just go to roman.com/Dominick and they will take care of you. And now the second biggest insecurity when it comes to guys is money. Let's just be so real about this. Money is a huge insecurity for a lot of people. Not necessarily because we don't have money in our bank account to pay our bills, but because we compare what we make with what other people make. Whether it's our friends, families, coworkers, people we hate, we're always in comparison with one another, and that can really drive a lot of anxiety and insecurity when it comes to our own finances. I think the fear of somebody seeing your bank account, your bank statements, or having your card declined is so real. I can tell you, I have had my card declined way more than is acceptable, and sometimes it's because I haven't had money in my account, and other times it's simply because I'm traveling and the bank doesn't know that, you know, I'm in a different part of California, which is so stupid. I will never forget, I was on a date once with a guy and it was his birthday and we were at the Grove, which is a mall in Temecula, or Los Angeles, and there was a cupcake shop and he wanted a cupcake, so I was like, let me buy this for you for your birthday. It was a $3 cupcake and my card got declined, and I was so embarrassed. And it wasn't because I didn't have money. I lived in Temecula at the time and I called my bank and they said, yeah, you were in a different location. I'm like, girl, this is 80 miles from my house. You declined me over a cupcake. It was so embarrassing, but that drove a ton of insecurity back on me because now I'm thinking, this guy doesn't even think I can afford a cupcake on his birthday. So I've been there. But here are 3 tips that I have for you guys when it comes to your finances to take that anxiety, take that insecurity, and help put it to the side. So there's a quote that says, if you pick a job you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. And I wanna say, as much as I love that quote, it is not always realistic for when you're starting out. And that is totally fine. Trust me, eventually you can work up to a place where you're working a job you love and it feels like you're not working a day in your life. Maybe you've been lucky enough to have that opportunity from the beginning. But if you haven't, one of my #1 pieces of advice when it comes to work is to take advantage of every single opportunity you have where you're at to learn. For myself, one of the best things that I did is I reached out to people who were in my industry or who I worked with who were 20, 30 years ahead of me, and I asked them to be my mentor. And with that, they were able to share so much information, and with that, it was literally impossible to be around them and not learn something, which for myself was the best form of education that I could have. And then I was able to take all of those practical skills and start applying them to my life immediately. Those skills then translated into how I work and how I manage my finances, and with that, I was able to see some really amazing results. The second tip I have when it comes to your finances is save your money. I cannot tell you guys how much I wish I did this when I was younger. Trust me when I say you do not need to earn 6 figures in order to save 6 figures. One of the best things that I have ever done is give myself a self audit, if that makes sense. Basically what I did is I went to my bank statements and I looked at them for the past 6 months, every single transaction, and I tallied how much was spent on alcohol, how much was spent on dining out, how much was spent on fast food, random Amazon purchases, shit I didn't need, and I was mortified. If you go ahead and do this, which trust me, you should, you are then able to see where every dollar you spend goes, and then you can come back and form a really strict budget, which will help you manage your finances and take the extra money that you have at the end of the month and put it towards savings. And the last tip that I have for you guys when it comes to finances is to understand that your salary today does not have to be your salary next month. It's so easy to see our salary, whether you are a full-time employee, an independent contractor, and compare it to somebody else and say, God, I should be this far, I should be making this much money. When it comes to that, just understand where you are today doesn't have to be where you're at a month from now or a year from now. Don't be afraid to ask for a raise. Show your boss you're irreplaceable. Find ways to stand out. And if you're not happy with your current job, use it as a means of income while you can start pursuing other things that you care about and eventually get those to a place where maybe you can move that to part-time or even full-time. The #1 thing that's gonna hold you back when it comes to your finances and your career is your mentality. If you don't believe you can do it, you'll never do it. You'll stay comfortable with where you're at. However, most people will tell you who are successful, once they hit a certain tier and they realize, you know, this amount of money is possible or this promotion is possible, they realized nothing was impossible and everything else after that was so much easier just because they had broken through that first ceiling. So do not give up. Don't get discouraged with your current finances. Set a budget, set a game plan. And with that, I'm telling you guys, that will all translate to your finances and you will see some gains. The third and last insecurity we are gonna go ahead and talk about is our bodies. I feel like this is something every single guy struggles with. I can't tell you how many diets and how many workout plans I went on last year that I just fell off because I felt insecure. I felt like I wasn't making progress. I would go to the gym, I would see these other guys with these amazing muscles and think, fuck, like, why can't I do that? The problem is social media has such an unrealistic expectation of beauty. Everything we see has been photoshopped and face-tuned. I can't tell you how many photos I've seen of guys who are flexing and they got these muscles and I'm like, I can see your wall bend. Like, I know your muscle is not that big, but we see this stuff and it makes us feel inadequate. So with this, instead of telling you guys the perfect routine or the perfect diet to get you the perfect body, I'm gonna share some tips that I think actually matter. Tip number one is drink water, and lots of it. Your body needs to be hydrated, and throughout the day, not only is this gonna help your skin, but it's gonna give you more energy. You're not gonna be dehydrated. Whenever I don't drink enough water, all I wanna do is sleep. When I sleep, I'm not motivated. When I'm not motivated, I don't go to the gym. So start with the little things. Tip number two is get 8 hours of sleep. Period. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. Your body needs sleep, especially when it comes to working out. Your muscles need to recover, so make sure you're putting in the time. Tip number three is you don't need to be on any specific workout plan. Just make sure you're getting regular exercise. Tip number four I have is eating your favorite dessert is not gonna kill you, but it's all about balance. Do not deny yourself some of the joys of life because I'm telling you, you will start to resent certain foods, and that's just having an unhealthy relationship with food. And the very last tip I have for you guys is definitely shoot for the stars when it comes to your goals, but don't get depressed if your butt doesn't look like somebody else's butt on Instagram that has implants. It's okay. You are on your own journey. Your body doesn't have to look like somebody else's. Set your own goals and then go after them. Everything you do and every goal you have is constantly going to evolve as you grow. So take it day by day, and with that, I'm telling you guys, you will be at your happiest. So with that, I know this is kind of a long video, but I just wanted to talk about these things to open up a discussion of, you know, some insecurities that all guys deal with at one point or another. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts on everything that we've talked about. With that, I love you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day. You can find me on Instagram at Dominick Whelton in the meantime, and be sure to check out Roman. Just go to roman.com/Dominick. Be kind to one another. I love you. Have a beautiful, safe weekend, and I will see you on Monday for the next video. Bye, cuties.